Hello, everybody. I'm Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Gary Gibson.
And for the A Film By podcast, this is Previously On. Garrett, we only have 3 episodes left of DTF St. Louis. And I feel like episode 5, Amphezyne, has given us some big pieces of the puzzle. So a couple clues have dropped. And when we're done at the end of this conversation, I want to ask you, you know, I want to go back one more time to like our theory on
Yeah.
who is behind Floyd's death, and we'll see how it shakes out. Uh, Episode 5, Floyd confronts Clark about the affair. Meanwhile, detectives Plum and Homer find out something pretty interesting about Carol's background.
Oh yeah.
So before we get into it, just a quick take. I don't know if you saw it when you watched this episode. Did you happen to see the trailer for this new Harry Potter series that HBO Max is doing? Drops in
I
December.
did. Yeah.
Thoughts?
Considering I've never seen one singular Harry Potter film,
Oh, okay.
I didn't doesn't tickle old
You
fancy at all. Yeah,
couldn't
I'm
you
not
couldn't give it
interested.
you
Yeah.
couldn't give a shit less. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Well,
I don't give a shit.
I read all the books. I seen all the movies. Loved it. Couldn't care less about this series. I'm sorry. I just maybe I'd like to be wrong, but I don't think I will be. So
No.
yeah, well, I'm not wrong in saying we won't be covering it. I know that. So this episode opens. I'm going to be careful here because I want to say it's a very beautiful opening, despite the fact that we're treated to the pictorial of Floyd's Playgirl spread.
Yeah.
But it's the Bob Dylan song "Forever Young."
Yeah.
I really I really think Floyd's youthful exuberance all comes back. It's all tied to this pictorial. The moment in his life where he was the most confident, he was the most happy with his self.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. And then we're right back into the Smyrnich living room. Another go at Carol. This time it's Plum's not alone. She's got Homer with her.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, can you speak up? No one can hear you. But,
That
jeez.
entire bit is just killing me every single
Oh,
time, dude.
oh.
Just gets me.
Well, okay, so I mean she is doing everything to assert dominance in this conversation. She's
She
she's
is.
asking him to speak up. Do you notice this time she's
To swear.
the swear, like, and then the fact that she gives the obligatory thank you after the questions
Yeah.
are asked. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I get it. She's all about, we see her running. She's listening to the motivational tapes. I think her life has just spiraled so far out of control that this is all a part of her trying to gain control of her life. She's trying to
It
she's trying to
is.
find power, right? Maybe she's
Yeah.
not. I don't think she's necessarily trying to be a bitch about stuff. I think she's just trying to find her inner strength. Maybe.
Possibly, but I mean, then you have scenes like when they're at the bike shop. I mean, you absolutely feel
Yeah.
sorry for the guy that's having to deal with her. Did you say 210?
Yeah.
I Googled
Yeah.
sprockets. They're
Oh,
$50. Yeah,
she
no,
is
she's
she is
absolutely
that
fucking terrible.
customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. She's fucking terrible. Well, uh, you know, Floyd. We finally get back to that moment from the first episode. We had that clip, that shocker of an ending to episode 1 where he's signing about, I know you've been fucking my wife,
Yeah.
and now we're in that conversation, and the big shock, at least for me, is that Floyd's completely cool with it.
not only completely cool with it, but he has been playing the Watcher throughout all of this, and he's been feeding him ideas of what his dreams should be because it's his dreams that he's trying to live through
Yeah,
Jason
I just,
Bateman's character,
you
which, yeah,
know, so okay, so Bateman, Clark is, he's kind of caught. He's like, hey, it just kind of happened. He's like, no, it's now there's honesty. It's totally
yeah,
cool. I just want to watch. And he's not wanting to, he wants to be in the closet. Now and there's another clue that we finally got the answer there. Like, how did he get in the closet
yeah,
last episode? How did he get in the hotel room? Well, it turns out he wants to watch, but not in like that perverted way. He just wants to be involved in the process.
yes.
And if that doesn't break your heart again for this guy, I don't know what does, man. He's just, like Carol even says it towards the end of this episode. She's like, "You're just the sweetest man," and he really is.
Yeah,
Clark's on record at the police department. I loved Floyd, and God damn it, I love Floyd too. I just do.
yes,
He's one of my
same.
favorite TV characters ever at this point now.
He really is just because he's got the biggest heart out of anyone that's ever lived, this
He
character.
does.
Now
Yeah.
it does start to get a bit out of hand there,
Okay.
of course, but we'll cover that here in a moment. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So I like the fact that he's explaining to Clark, how he wants to be involved. He just wants to be, what's he called, on the cool side of the curtain. You know,
yes,
like you said it, he's kind of living vicariously through Clark for a
yeah,
little bit of this until he gains a little more confidence. So we'll get to that. But how about Detective Homer is now starting to believe that maybe Clark isn't guilty. He's he's on the Garrett Gibson train. He's looking at Carol a little bit closer now.
yeah.
How you feel about that?
I'm glad he's finally opened his eyes and he's starting to look just because of how weird she is acting throughout this
Yeah.
whole thing. And I don't know. You can see it written on Carol's face when Forrest and Floyd both have the conversation with her at the table outside.
Hmm.
When they're having that conversation on the second half of it, when Floyd's talking about getting involved, but he still wants Bateman's character involved, but he wants him to watch. So you can
Yeah.
kind of see how it shifts in her face and everything of that nature. So it's making me wonder if they end up falling into some weird love thing between Clark and Floyd themselves. And that's kind of what drives her to do something heinous. But that
Okay.
we've got 3 more episodes to find
Yeah.
this
Well, you're
out. So
okay.
yeah.
I know we're gonna end this conversation with that question, but you're kind of tipping your hand. You're still Carol is your chief suspect. It sounds like, but let's talk about it a little bit more here.
Yeah.
Maybe. So where's the other bike? That's what Homer wants to know.
Yeah, the entire time. That's what he's
Yeah,
looking for.
we finally get a glimpse at Clark's wife. You know, we go check out Clark's garage. Hey, bike's not here. It's always here.
Yeah.
And now we know, or we're gonna find out that the bike is in Carol's garage.
The Love Smyrnage Garage.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Miss Smurditch, open the garage. Love Smurditch. Open the garage.
yeah.
He's had enough of her
Yeah.
shit at this point.
He has, and I absolutely love that. I also
Yeah.
do kind of like how mischievous, you know, Joy and Richard are being
Can we
towards the end of the episode there.
can we
Yeah.
yeah, put a pin in that. Put a pin in
Yeah.
that because I know that's something I was like, we need to talk about that. But before we do, so a couple things going on. The dream meeting with Floyd watching in the closet.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this show gives us it. Sometimes we take a weird turn, like the Thunder Boys rap or
Oh, yeah.
the gymnastics routine, but this time, or we have like the tender moments, like he has with Richard. Like
Yeah.
their new version of therapy. I loved this moment. So we get this. We're kind of getting weird because Clark's a little embarrassed. He's trying to ask for a rim job,
Yeah.
and Floyd's in the closet watching, but he notices a high school kid, a blind high school kid who's walking straight towards the swimming pool, and he busts into action, runs out there. Dude, I love this moment where he catches this kid from walking right into the pool, and they have that
Yeah.
moment. They signed the whole thing. How about that, dude? Like, what was your thoughts for that scene?
It's one of those things that you don't realize this kid is blind when you're looking out the window at it. You're like, what the hell is happening here? And then as soon as Floyd gets out to him, you realize what's going on. But no, that is a very heartwarming moment, especially between Floyd and this young gentleman. And you kind of actually see this is why, like, we see the backstory of Floyd learning American Sign Language later on in
Yep.
the episode because it's actually what his purpose in life is that he feels.
He's found his purpose, and just
Yeah,
the joy on his face. And this is David Harbour just doing a phenomenal job of playing this character.
yeah,
He is so proud of this young man that he doesn't know for wanting to, you know, show up to homecoming and not be dropped off by his parents. Walked in, letting them help him walk him in. He's not using his cane. And, Floyd signs back. He's like, I got it, man. You just want to walk in there all by yourself like the cool kid you are. And just he's smiling. I mean, this kid can't see him, and that he's got the biggest smile. And it's just like you said it, like Floyd, he has the biggest heart, and it just makes you love this guy all the more. The fact that how he handles situations like this, so selfless. Like when he walked into the traffic to get the kid that was the guy that was kind of having a fit or whatever, kind of losing himself. He's just the most selfless character of all time, I think.
he really is, and of course, scenes like when he's doing the interview with the news about being the hero, and he's like, "No, and that kid's parents are the hero." Obviously, he's talking a lot about his son Richard, which
Hmm.
or stepson Richard. So moments that are like that we keep seeing little snippets of, I believe that's one of the key factors of that's why I don't think he took his own life. Like, I feel like there is something
Coming
there.
at me. All right, hold on.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like there is something there, do not get me wrong. But little snippets like that, I believe one of your theories might be right, like, about the child, of
No,
course,
you think
Richard there.
Richard? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility, especially with everything that's going on, and, like, maybe Richard knows exactly what's going on, and that's why he's been throwing rocks at the house, and he's been being
Hmm.
a little dick about everything,
Absent
but
from this
it ju
episode.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, he
exactly,
gets the day off.
especially after dropping gallon after gallon of milk in the middle of the floor at a supermarket, but yeah,
Kid's weird. I mean, I'm
yes,
liking
so
him a
yeah,
little bit more. I understand him a little bit better, but he's still.
yeah,
So Clark now has an attorney. Does
yeah.
not want to say anything more about the story because it will hurt Floyd.
So, and that's why I'm starting to lean more and more towards that. Those two might have something because they keep showing the weird hug between both of them when they're shirtless and all that stuff. So it's one of those things that I'm starting to read into more and more that like maybe those
I
two kind of fall in love with each other. And that might be insane to say, but I also kind of feel like it kind of is trending that way.
Okay, I won't deny that there is an intimacy developing
Yes.
between them. Uh, like when they're sitting poolside at the
Yeah.
YMCA, and he's like, "Hey, you've got insurance now." Which, by the way, we find out this episode, the person making it out, that's Clark's mom's name.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yeah.
So yeah, we know what's up there. We know Carol claims that she had no idea about this policy because no way Jose, they could not pay for it.
Yeah.
Did you like about jumping back to the questioning at the beginning of the episode? Didn't you like the fact that that Plum is like, no way, Jose. Like she
Yeah,
kind of calls her out on the usage of it.
she does.
Yeah, it's still annoying as hell. Yeah, just trying to
Yeah,
be
that
cute.
entire
No, you're not being
scene,
cute.
I'm just like, I want to punch her in the throat. That entire scene.
Well, okay, so the text message
Yeah,
that we've seen since the first episode, what you're doing with Carol is not right, bro. I want to meet and talk about it, bro. It has nothing to do with emotion.
no,
Again, like this show would not be this show without making us stand up and go, "What? What? Huh? What are we doing?" He just wants to meet because he wants to give him some constructive criticism on sexual
yeah,
positions. Did you?
yeah,
I mean, this whole time I never would have guessed that. That's
no,
crazy. He's like,
no.
"Man, your
It's
legs,
one of the more weird instances
yeah,
in this show for sure.
your legs need to be on the outside of Carol, and so far they've
Yeah,
been inside. Try it. It's different, dude. I love it. I love the constructive criticism. And this is where we get to talk. Floyd says, "Hey, there's this drug, Amphezyne. My
yeah,
doctor won't give it to me because of the risk.
yeah,
I'm taking a lot of meds, and you take a little bit of it, it's fine. You take too much, it can be fatal.
yeah,
Can you get me some? Can you ask for it?" And Clark says, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I like the fact that Clark shows real concern about
yes,
can he take it responsibly, because when we're in the backyard and Carol's asking about Amphezyne, he's like, "It's for my guy. I want
yeah,
to help me get full on." And
yeah.
she's like, "It's fine if it's small." She's like, "What about
Small.
a larger dose?" And she doesn't ask like with I just feel I'm not trying to. I feel like I'm giving you strength. I'm giving you strength to your theory here, but it concerns me that she's not like, well, what if you take too much? She
Yeah,
like very cold. Like she's like, what about a larger dose?
yeah.
I mean, she says it with like all the warmth of a serial killer,
She
and he's
does.
like, and then he's like, it'll kill me.
Yeah,
So I was like,
and then
red
I'm
herring.
like
I'm
two
calling. I
seconds
think it's a
after.
red
Yeah,
herring, man. What do you
2 seconds after that, he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab us some lemonade." He
Yeah.
just gets up, walks away. You're like, okay, whatever, man.
But okay, so but like I said earlier, did you notice she never makes eye contact with Clark, even when she says, "What is
No,
he doing here?" Because she's
yeah,
looking at Floyd the whole time, and when Floyd hops up to go get lemonade, she keeps her eyes averted. She does not make eye
she does.
contact, and
No,
they don't speak, which I thought was
no,
kind of weird, you know.
yes,
And then Floyd comes back. He's like, we didn't have any lemonade mix, so I was just gonna get lemons and sugar, but we don't have any lemons, so
or sugar.
or sugar. Yeah, it's um. We get another one of these moments. I was like, here he comes. Do you want me to tell you the story about how I got the injury, the Peyronie's disease?
Yeah,
And he just keeps giving us this long-winded way, and then we get interrupted.
yeah,
I'm telling you, we're never going to find out.
no,
I don't
especially
want to find out
since
now. I don't want to find. I
no,
want it to be the mystery of the show.
especially since he gives the like little rundown with the sign falling on him and him hitting the ground, and then
Oh,
later after having two broken wrists, the umbrella gets ripped out from between his legs, and none
hmm
of this has to do with anything that happened
yeah.
to him.
How frustrating are you if you're Clark? Just tell me, dude. Like what?
Yeah,
Because okay, so you alluded to this, Homer and Plum
yeah,
maybe doing something. Well, let's be honest. It's a very clever workaround,
it
um,
is
but maybe not the most
ethical.
ethical move. So we're questioning. They're questioning Carol, and she flat out, he asks, have you ever been convicted of a crime? She's like, I don't have to answer that. She cites what, like some kind of compliance code or something like that, and he's
She
like, what
does.
the fuck? And she's
Yeah,
like, shouldn't you know you're again dominating that conversation?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you know the laws? If you're, I mean, being who you are, you should know the laws. Like
Yes.
she's full Karen mode in this
She is.
moment. But so this whole situation, this compliance is citizens with sealed or expunged convictions are not obligated or compelled to acknowledge their cases.
Yes.
So now we know there's something in her past. She was convicted of something, whether it was overturned or whether Alfred plea. I don't know what's going on because they just gave us this tiny little bite, for us to think about. But okay,
So
before we get to that, we know the workaround is if you apply for a position with the police department,
yeah.
that automatically gives a detective such as Plum the full access to what the conviction was. And
Oh yeah.
she went for it. She's doing
She
it.
did.
This
Yeah.
is Homer's idea, and she follows through. That's where we're
She
left. But
does.
what's her crime?
So I'm going to
Thoughts?
say yes. So I've got a pretty great idea of what this is because of something else that they mentioned in this episode. It's
Okay.
when Floyd and Clark are both talking at the table in sign language, and he's like, her first husband was a complete asshole. So
Yeah.
now what this like instance is going to be that got expunged off of her record. I'm assuming it's something to do with domestic violence against her original husband, which is going to point all
Okay.
fingers towards her because it's going to look like she tried to kill her first husband and now her second husband has just been killed.
Okay. Okay. Um, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about. I just thought he's like, yeah, her ex was a real fucking asshole. I
Yeah.
figured it was just a bad marriage. I didn't think about what he did to make it a bad marriage or to be an
Little
asshole.
breadcrumbs, man. I'm telling you. So the show's been feeding us these little breadcrumbs this entire
Mm.
time. So I'm thinking it's something to do with that, which is ends up why Richard is the way that he is. And it
Oh,
just, yeah.
whoa.
So it does a
Okay.
lot of justice this episode with just dropping those little subtle hints. And if I'm wrong, I would 110% be surprised by this.
Okay. So that's we're to this point. We're 5 episodes in. Who is responsible for Floyd's death? You are sticking to your original unhinged theory. It's the wife. It's Carol.
Yeah.
I'll be impressed if 3 episodes later we find out you've been right this whole time. I'll be pretty impressed with you. I just think it's too easy right now because I think we've
Yeah.
had like what 2 maybe 3 episodes now where we have really pushed hard on her being an unlikable person and
Yes.
difficult with the police. I'm convinced obviously that
Uh,
it's not Clark. We know that.
Yes. So I
But
will say if it comes back to where this is a expunged record of her doing something to her abusive ex-husband,
yeah,
I will go on record right now and say she's not the killer if that's the case. Because that undoubtedly puts all the pressure on her. Clark's then a free man. She's probably sitting in a jail cell. So when it gets
I
to that point, she's innocent. Once it gets to
okay.
that point. Yeah.
Okay, well, look, I don't see it being Carol because of Carol, the way she looks at Floyd when he isn't paying attention. They're in the
Yeah.
at that concert. He's up there doing his thing. He's signing for the concert, the hip hop concert, but he's having the time of his life, and she's just enamored with him. Look at him. I love him so much. And then
Yeah.
even in this episode, her husband should be furious about finding out about this affair.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, he's showing kindness and understanding about it and just wants to participate in the most non-perverse way in a perverse situation that it is.
Yes.
And she's like, "You're just the sweetest guy." I don't think she's got it in it to murder a guy like Floyd. I don't. I just don't. So I am sticking with my theory, my main theory. Floyd either upon realizing that the life insurance policy is a payout of $1.1 million, and
Yeah.
knows that that sets Carol and Richard up for life, which is something he'll never be able to do. He will never be able to
No,
do it. I think he makes the sacrifice. Uh, I think I think he takes his own life and tries to make it look like an accidental death. I think him asking for the Amphezyne is even him like ahead of time. I think because this show jumps all over the timeline. I think he knows at that point and he's asking for it because he figures, hey, this can look very accidental if I play it off right. So
that's
I'm
true.
sticking. I'm sticking. That's my theory. I'm going to stick with the theory that Floyd makes the ultimate sacrifice to take care of his family because that's his whole being is about taking care of people that he loves, and
I mean,
that's what he's going
could
to
you
do.
imagine if that's like the other hidden aspect of this? Obviously, Floyd's been watching the entire time, but like when Carol's having those meetings with Clark about, he needs life insurance and blah blah blah, and Floyd keeps pushing for all this stuff so he can get
Hmm.
cleared on a health and fitness thing. Now he's
Yep.
pushing for some medicine that could prove fatal when he's on blood
Yep.
thinners. Could you imagine if that was the other hidden aspect of this, where he's like, I've already decided I'm checking out and I just want to set her up, which I could see that.
Yeah.
I
It's
could see that
it's
now.
right.
Yeah, it's
It's
starting to
it's
shape up.
here. Okay. So and just to give a little more strength to my theory, a little bit more support. This episode shows us that Floyd is a lot smarter than what been giving him credit for.
Yes.
And I mean, think about what he did with the hotel, like the old friends discount.
Oh,
Because we're
yeah.
like, who was he talking last episode? We're like, what did he say? How did he get in the room
Yeah.
when he was a traveling salesman? He had the old friends discount for the Quality Inn or whatever that place is called,
Quality
and then
gardens.
Quality Garden Inn, yeah, suites, the Quality Garden Suites.
That it is.
So he's smart enough to have a conversation with this hotel manager, explain his situation, and then retroactively get a discount on all these stays that Carol has been doing because we see the bank
Oh, yeah.
statement, $180 a pop, literally. So he sets that up. I think I think Floyd's playing chess while everyone's playing checkers.
You could be very right about this. I
All
mean, I'm
right.
not
Well,
gonna
look,
lie. Yeah.
you made you gave your theory some support. You've got me listening. I gave my theory some support. I think you're listening now.
Oh, yeah.
List maybe the listeners, those watching on YouTube, I wonder what they're thinking. Drop in the comments. Let us know, like, what is your theory? Like, who's behind Floyd's death?
Yeah.
Because Garrett says Carol, I say Floyd, and I think that's gonna about cover it. DTF St. Louis premieres new episodes every Sunday at 9 o'clock. Garrett, I know we're just a couple days away from getting that new episode, and
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, we'll be back to talk about it.